pins. This is something that intuition would say you should be doing, but guess what? I've seen so many people making this mistake, and I have to tell you about it. So my name is Jennifer Priest, and I am the founder here at Smart Creative Social, and I'm going live today to talk to you about idea pins. Now, down in the description of this video is a link to our Win with Idea Pins workshop. This workshop is going on this month. Limited seats, limited time only to get in. If you're watching this on the replay, if you go to that link, go in there, get in there to sign up, because it will, even if you're watching this later, it will probably give you some kind of, it'll redirect or do something. But for now, right, if you're watching this October 2021, the challenge is coming up this month. And I'm super excited about it because there are so many mistakes that people are making with idea pins that they just don't realize they're making. Everyone's telling us you've got to make idea pins. Pinterest wants us to make idea pins. In fact, they sent an email back in July telling, or maybe it was even June, telling all creators that you have to make at least one idea pin every month. And we have so many people telling us to make idea pins, but then we're like, they don't link to anything. So we're, we're kind of like, it's a little confusing. Like, what is the result that we should get from them? What should we make our idea pins about? And then how do we measure results if they don't actually link out? If any of you have made an idea pin, I'd love it if you dropped me an emoji, just a smiley face, down in the text chat, in the comments here under this video. Drop me an emoji if you've ever made an idea pin. So they're still relatively new. They rolled out to everyone earlier this year. And they used to be called story pins. And Pinterest said, oh, that name's not quite accurate. So then in summer 2021, they changed the name to idea pins. So if you've not made an idea pin, that's okay. Idea pins are one of the 3 different types of pins that Pinterest has. As far as the organic free pins, right? We're not talking about product and shopping pins. We're not talking about ads. So there's the standard pin, right? That's that graphic that we normally see. It could be a carousel of multiple graphics. We've got the video pin, which is a video. And then we have the idea pins, which are kind of like a story, right? Multiple panels. It can be video and images, and the user pans through. The thing that's different about an idea pin than a video pin or standard pin is that the idea pin does not have a link that goes anywhere. So with our standard pins and video pins, we've used those to send traffic over to our website or our YouTube channel or our Etsy shop or whatever. And it's been amazing, right? Well, now there's idea pins where Pinterest wants the whole idea, the whole thing, one whole idea to fit within that pin. And the user, the pinner, is supposed to be able to consume the whole idea right there on Pinterest without leaving. And you're like, what? How does this help my business? Because all of us built our businesses with getting people from Pinterest over to the over to our website, right? That's what we want. We want to get them over to our website. We want to get them on our list. We want to get them buying our stuff. We want to get them consuming our content, clicking all our affiliate links, right? That's what we want pinners to do, not stay on Pinterest with this thing that doesn't link out. So a lot of people are really confused about how to use idea pins. People have kind of fought against it and said, I'm not going to use them and not make them. But we do know that they perform better in the feed. Pinterest pushes them up to the top. We do know that Pinterest wants us doing them. Like when they've told us, okay, if you want to maintain that creator status, you better be making an idea pin every month. And so if you've tried to make an idea pin, maybe this is something that's happened. In fact, I've seen this within some people. I've seen this happen to people. And I'm like, I always try to catch them before they do this, but sometimes people are doing this. And that's why I'm making this live. There are people who are making idea pins for their most popular pin. They're like, this did really well. So if I make an idea pin for it, it's going to do really well. Or for their most popular blog post, okay? Or their most popular page on their site, or their most highest converting page on the site. Whatever is your bestest of the best, intuition would say, oh, if that's my bestest of the best and an idea pin would perform even better, I should make an idea pin of my bestest of the best. Don't do that, okay? So this is what's happening. People are making the idea pin for their best of the best idea. And that idea pin that does not link to their website is now outranking their standard pin or video pin that used to be at the top, that used to be the one that sent them all the traffic. So that idea pin has huge impressions, right? And it's got engagement and people are saving it, but it doesn't link anywhere. So what happens is you actually see more impressions and engagement on your account because that idea pin is like whoosh at the top, but your traffic goes down because now that idea pin has pushed, imagine, like, think of Google, right? Somebody else knocked you out of number one. Well, you just knocked yourself out of number one on Pinterest with your idea pin. And it's so frustrating because people are like, wait, I'm trying to do what Pinterest told me to do. I'm trying to make an idea pin for an idea people want. And what you end up doing is cutting off your own legs. And so we don't want to do that. So, what I want to do today is share with you why this is happening, how to avoid it, what you can do instead, and what will happen if you start doing what I tell you to do. Because I think this is important, right? People tell you to do something, and then you're like, well, I don't even know how I would measure if that even works. Well, I'll tell you what that's going to look like in a year from now. Okay, so, and it's not because I have a crystal ball, it's because I have a little bit of a different understanding of Pinterest. And this is what I teach inside my program, Smart Pin Pro. So that Win with Idea Pins workshop, guess what? It leads into me telling you about Smart Pin Pro. I wouldn't be a good marketer if I didn't do that. So, so just know that that is all about, teaching you everything about idea pins. It's an all-inclusive workshop. But then we are going to talk about my program that teaches you how to really think about Pinterest, create a Pinterest traffic strategy, no matter what Pinterest rolls out next. Maybe next month they come out with octopus pins, and we don't know what those are yet, but that's maybe what they're going to do. Who knows? And if they do that, no problem, because you just run it through the framework and you will be able to create a strategy. And so that's what I teach inside my program. And we have people that have brand new Pinterest accounts that are 5 months old that are getting traffic for their clients. We have people that have old Pinterest accounts that have been terrible that now they have their best traffic in 4, 5, 6 years. So there are people getting results despite a lot of the negative reports you're hearing. A lot of times we just hear the complaints in the Facebook group. Okay, so and I'll be telling you all about it in that workshop. So make sure that you get signed up for the workshop using the link down below this video. Okay, so why does your idea pin that you made for your amazing idea outrank your standard pin? It's because the idea pin then replaced your heavy traffic pin in that keyword search or in that feed. Like Pinterest has labels they assign to the pins. So if your pin was about your chicken taco recipe, right? My favorite example is chicken tacos. If your pin that was so amazing was about chicken tacos, and then now you make an idea pin for that, now your idea pin is going to show up at the top of every label that is associated with chicken tacos, or every relevant label. And it's going to then supplant, like replace what your other pin used to do. So it's like, we don't want that. We want to keep the good traffic and we want to make idea pins that Pinterest wants, but we want those idea pins to be things that actually benefit our business. So what benefits our business with idea pins? Well, first we got to go back to what is the purpose? What are the expectations of each type of pin? So standard pins drive traffic and they are served largely on the basis of search and user behavior, right? If somebody searched for chicken tacos, they're going to get your standard pin for chicken tacos. If somebody then searched for chicken tacos and they didn't see your pin in the search, but your pin has that label, they may see it tomorrow or the next day or a couple weeks from now. It will show up in some kind of feed, some kind of surface within Pinterest. Okay, so that's how standard pins work. Idea pins and standard pins are for traffic. Idea pins are different because they don't have a link. So idea pins are for awareness. Hey, I've got these ideas. And at the end of every idea pin, there is a panel that asks the user, the pinner, to follow that account. Idea pins are for followers. Okay, that's the thing that we can measure. And it feeds the 3 modes, right? In any Pinterest feed, you're going to see some standard pins, some video pins, and some idea pins. So you've got to have all 3 in order to be served up in any of those slots. There's different calculations that the algorithm does, and you can read all about that on the and I don't even like to use the word algorithm. Like, there's different calculations that Pinterest does to figure out how many of the pins on the screen are going to be story pins and how many are going to be idea pins and how many are going to be standard pins. And it's based on user behavior and it's based on all these things. And you can go read all about it in the Pinterest engineering blog. Um, so that's basically how that works. If you only had two types of the three pins, you're only going to get served in those two types of slots. So if you do all three, you're going to get served in all three. And like I said, if Pinterest rolled out another type of pin, then you would work that into your system. Okay. Now, the purpose of each of these different types of pins is different. And right now, because Pinterest is trying to push that all inclusive idea within the Pinterest ecosystem, they are prioritizing idea pins in the feed. You make an idea pin, it gets shown to so many more people. It gets put up at the top. And if it's a really well optimized idea pin, it will outrank your best pin on that subject. Okay. So instead of taking, I'm number one for best chicken tacos, I'm number one for how to make, chicken for tacos, and I'm number one for salsa. Instead of making idea pins for each of those things, because that would just make you outrank your things you're already top for with your idea pins don't link to anywhere. Here's what to do instead. Think about creating a complementary idea that audience would be searching for, that would attract them, but does not compete with your idea, right? Doesn't compete with the main thing that you are pinning. So, for example, if I was doing my chicken taco recipe, maybe there's something special that I do in that recipe, a technique. Maybe there's a spice mix, something that people are searching for that is related, but is not actually chicken taco recipe, right? The idea pin should not be the same thing as my top performing pin or my top performing post, because otherwise you're just cannibalizing what you already have. Like, stop it. Stop competing with yourself. And the other thing is that it needs to be a complete idea that needs no additional information. This is the biggest mistake I see food bloggers and DIY bloggers making on Pinterest. And even companies with products, is they're like, we're going to show a teaser in the idea pin and get people to come to our site. One, there's no link. Okay. So it's really hard for them to come to your site. The easiest thing for people to do is to follow you from there. So change the focus to, I'm trying to get people to follow me from an idea pin. So that's going to change what you ask them to do. It's really frustrating for a pinner when they find a recipe on an idea pin and they're trying to click it because they still don't all know that they have to click it. They think it's a carousel pin or something. They don't even get it. And so they're clicking it to get the recipe, like the instructions, because they see your ingredients and they see how to do it, but they're like, I really need the instructions. And they can't get there. So that's why a lot of food bloggers have complaints, because they're like, "Oh, people hate idea pins." No, they hate what you are doing with idea pins. Like, you're trying to do what you've always done. Well, I'm going to show the recipe, I'm going to show a teaser, I'm going to get them to click to my site. But the magical piece that we're missing there, the essential piece, is get them to click to my site. We don't have that with idea pins. So let's stop putting that kind of content in idea pins, because it just makes the pinner frustrated. It makes us frustrated because we don't get any results. And we're not then capitalizing fully on what we can do with an idea pin, because once it starts to have bad performance, Pinterest is like, get it out of there. Right. So now we're not even getting that extra boost. Right. It's effort for nothing. Right. And we don't want to be doing that. So it needs to be a complete idea that does not need additional information to be useful on its own. And this is really a different approach, because people are like, well, I don't want to make something exclusively just for Pinterest. It's like, well, you could think of it that way, but there's probably some other ways to think about it, which I share in the Win with Idea Pins workshop. I'm not going to give you all the secrets here. Are you kidding me? So we have that in-depth training that's coming up. Plus, we have a workbook and all kinds of like really super awesome stuff. We have some VIP spots available where you get all kinds of extra super good bonus things. And those are going to help you with figuring out exactly what for your business, your resources, your goals, what you should be making as far as idea pins. The other thing to think about instead is think about what your audience is searching for that is not in your post or on your product. We have some people in our program who are managing Pinterest accounts for companies that only have products. They might only have a Shopify shop, or they might only have an Etsy shop, and they don't have any content marketing. Like they don't have a blog, they don't have a YouTube channel to send people to. And so, where do they put all the stuff that people are searching for? They don't put it on the product listing. Guess what? Idea Pins gives you a place to put that stuff. It's so freaking awesome. So think about what your audience is searching for that is not in your post or listed on your product. That is some serious fodder for attracting people via Idea Pins to your account. And because it's not in your blog post or in your product listing, it's not going to compete with anything that you already have. And the other thing is to consider those labels on the pins, right? How can I attract the audience I want? Get those labels that I want on the pin to be associated, get those labels on the pin to match the audience that I really, really want so that I can get them to follow me and see my other stuff that has those labels. What labels are you going to use, right? Figure out, okay, what keywords do I want Pinterest to associate with this idea pin that aren't going to totally conflict with what my top stuff is, because I don't want to replace that getting served up for those labels. And so, what happens when you start doing these four things? One, your idea pins are going to attract the audience that you want. They're going to try, and for free. Okay. So, like, talk about our audience targeting on Pinterest, Facebook, any of those places. You can choose, I want this audience, this age, blah, 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 these interests, da, da, da. And you can pay money to do that. Well, with really good optimization, you just optimize your pin to attract those people for free. Right. And you let everyone who's buying ads, they are then going to subsidize your pins being shown in the feed, because for all the ads they have to have other pins in between. And guess what? They're going to pick yours if they are really well optimized. So use idea pins to attract that audience you want that's interested in those topics that you offer. Grow your followers. Idea pins are amazing for growing followers. Utilize that. It's built into the idea pin. Like, think about, how can I build this to get people to go to the last panel so that they will follow? And then the top pins always stay on top, right? This way you're like my blog post that continues to deliver year after year. That standard pin or video pin is not touched, because you're not creating idea pins that are now going to compete with it. And you get your content, your regular standard pins that you have that have always done well for those topics will continue to get served to these new followers. And that's what we want. We want new people coming over, getting on our list, visiting our site, generating page views, generating ad revenue, generating affiliate revenue. And if you have products, buying your products. Like, that's the stuff that we want to have happening. And what's awesome is you get more traffic, you get more momentum. And here's the thing, as pins are on Pinterest more and more people engage with them, Pinterest gathers more data about the pin, who it's going to best perform with, what audiences, what labels, and it reinforces the accuracy of the labeling on the pin. So Pinterest is like, we showed this pin to 45 people that like chicken tacos, and guess what? They liked it. So we're going to show it to more people that have that label. But of those 45 people, and I'm just making up numbers here, of those 45 people who like the chicken tacos, we noticed that 42 of them also had Mexican food recipes label associated with their interests. So maybe we should show this chicken taco recipe to the Mexican food recipes label people. And that's how your stuff gets sent out over and over. If you read the engineering blog, Pinterest actually explains the stuff on there. And so as you have that boost, as things continue to have momentum, it's just like, it's like a ball rolling down a hill. It just gets faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. And that's why we see these old pins, right, having so much momentum, is because they have so much data. Pinterest has so much data about who this is going to perform with, what are they interested in, and all of those things. And so the longer it's on there, the better it performs, the more data, the more trustworthy, the more strength in that data. And here's the other thing that's really great, is that pinners don't get frustrated, because the idea that you're going to present is now a complete idea, and they still, because of the labeling, will get served the standard pin that they can click and take more action on. They will see those pins on your account, right? They'll follow you. They'll get served up all your stuff. And in a year, things are going to be even better. You're going to have even more momentum. Now, who doesn't want that? Like, that's super awesome, right? We all want that. So if you guys are thinking this sounds good to you, I would love it if you guys came on over and let me put a little caption up here. I'm going to add me a little caption here. Doot, doot, doot. This is the Win with Idea Pins workshop. I'm going to add the little link here for you guys so you can see it on the screen. It's kind of long. Maybe I should have made it a little more shorter. But it's just challenge dash idea dash pins over at smartcreativesocial.com. Go sign up for it. So there's a free version of it where you can watch it for free live. I've got a whole page that explains like how that works when you sign up, blah, blah, blah. And then we have the VIP option. So you'll want to make sure that you go through, of course, there's a funnel you're going to click and you're going to get through all the steps. It's going to show you all the things. And I'm going to tell you like, what do we get in this challenge? So there's 3 days plus 2 bonus days that will help you do everything that you need to do with idea pins to have success with them. Because the thing is, they're not going away. We're not going to boycott them away. We're not going to like stomp our feet them away. Really, we're missing out if we are not taking advantage of them. But we want to make sure that we're doing it in a way that's intentional and in a way that really makes sense as a part of our robust Pinterest traffic strategy. Not something that's going to cannibalize our traffic, like what's happening when people make idea pins for their most popular stuff, but something that actually using idea pins in a way that actually benefits our account and creates a great user experience for the pinner, right? If we're giving them a bad user experience, that negatively affects the performance of our account. So if you want to do any of those things, I would encourage you to go sign up for the challenge right now. Seats are limited, especially on VIP. We've already got a group of like a couple hundred people in there rocking and rolling, ready to do stuff with idea pins. And I can't wait for you guys to join in and see what we do. I think this is so needed. I've seen so many people complaining in Facebook groups, so many people frustrated, and so many people getting results that they didn't want when these do take some time to make. And so we want to make sure that your time is well spent and that you're getting a great benefit from it. So that's why I created this challenge, is just for you. I'm really excited to do it. It's like a gift at the end of the year. And I hope to see you guys in the challenge. If you have any questions at all, drop them here in the comment section and I will answer them even if it's 2 years from now. All right. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I will see you in the